that we already know how to set up the candidate onboarding flow, let's see a few restrictions and preferences that you can set with respect to candidate onboarding. In order to do that, we'll navigate to settings and then onboarding. So under flows, we have candidate onboarding and then click on preferences. There are three different types of preferences. The first one is allow admins to mark the onboarding as completed. So if this option is disabled, what happens is when a candidate completes the onboarding process, their onboarding status will be directly marked as completed. However, if this option is enabled, when a candidate completes candidate onboarding, their status will be marked as completed by candidate, which means the admin will have an option to go review the information and then completely mark the onboarding as completed. In order to do that, we can take an example. So we'll move to operations, onboarding. Under track onboarding, we see the list of candidates here. So let's take this example. The candidate John has completed it, but if you see the status, it is only marked as completed by candidate. So click on the status. You are given with two different options, mark as completed or reopen. So after looking into all the information provided by the candidate, you can either mark the process as completed or you can reopen it. If you want these two options to be available as a part of your candidate onboarding flow, you need to make sure this preference is enabled. The next preference is about tentative date of joining. So using this condition, what we can do is, you will be able to set a minimum interval between two different dates, that is, date of completion by the candidate and the date of joining. So I have set it as 5 days, which means that there should be a minimum time interval of 5 days between the completion date by the candidate and the date of joining entered in the candidate form. And the last preference is about converting candidate information to the employee form. We already know that when you're converting a candidate to an employee observer people, the information available in the candidate form will be transferred to the employee form. And this action to happen, you need to make sure the field mapping is done. So we click on Map Fields. So in this page, towards the left side, we see fields available in the employee form. And the fields you see in the drop-down list is nothing but the fields available in the candidate form. So here, you're going to map all the common information between the candidate form and then the employee form. For example, employee ID is mapped, first name is mapped, last name is mapped, because first name is available in both candidate form as well as in the employee form. And there is one condition that you'll have to make sure it's done for you to do the mapping, that is data type. For example, gender is a drop-down field in the employee form. If it is created as a drop-down field in employee form, you need to make sure gender is created as a drop-down field in the candidate form. If it is created as a single line field, then you will not be able to do the mapping. So you can select all the common information that you have between these two forms. Once it is done, click on Save. If field mapping is not done, then the data transfer will not happen. So these three different preferences that you have with respect to the candidate onboarding.